All right, greetings. I am trusting all is well. We got everybody in. We want to make sure we are good to go. We have some exciting information today. So let's jump right on into it, right, guys? So, so in today's episode, we are going to have 5 areas that we are going to make sure that we discuss. It is the beginning of 2026, the kickoff. So we will make sure that we dive in and have some fun today. All right, so key areas that we will be discussing today for state of the real estate market. This is the first episode of the year, so we want to make sure that we start off with a bang. Key takeaways from today is how the 2025 ended and what does 14% increase look like in 2026. Florida and other market happenings such as prices, sales, as well as pending sales. Taking a look at the current mortgage rate, spotting opportunities versus traps in 2026. Very key, very key. And then protecting financial health and mental health while building long-term wealth with real estate. So those are some amazing things that we need to make sure that we chime into today, and we'll definitely take a look at that. But on the flip side, Happy New Year to everyone. I am Chris Brown, your real estate developer and health is wealth advocate. 2025 was a grind for a lot of people in the housing market, but 2026 is shaping up differently. Yes, it is, definitely. But today I'm going to walk you through what actually changed at the end of 2025 and what experts are projecting for 2026 and how you can position yourself to win, whether you're a homeowner, a buyer, or even a small investor here in the area of Florida. So, with that being said, guys, if you haven't done so already, I always tell you guys be sure to like, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so. If this is your first time tuning into the channel, this is a channel where we not only talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we also talk about building generational wealth as well as other hot topics regarding entrepreneurship. So lots of things to talk about, great information. So be sure to tune in, click the notification. That way you get. So, like I was saying before, guys, be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If it's anything of this recording that you guys missed, it is all being recorded. It is available for replay. If you made sure that you signed up, or make sure that the replay is sent out to you. But this is such important information that we have that's regarding the real estate market and what's going on right now. It's truly a lot going on right now. So a lot to be excited about. As I mentioned before, with the market, it is something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on as we're moving forward. So a national spotlight, something that we look at on a national note. Um, as I mentioned, how some of the sales ended of 2025. We had multiple months where it was the increase, one of the longest streaks of the year. So it's kind of different that it actually happened towards the end of the year. The inventory that we observed and some of the national median prices that we also observed with also an increase. Pending home sales, 3.3%. It jumped, and like I said, this is all different because it happened towards the end of the year, and that's not typical. It wasn't typical in the past, but you know, things happen. I always tell people it's always been different. So nationally, we've moved from a frozen market to a slow thaw reset. Sales are waking up, prices are cooling, but not crashing. I've been preaching this for a while. The market is not crashing. So 2026 looks more active than any of the last 3 years. So high predictions. But as I always tell you guys, always that we're going to go ahead and keep a focus on what's going on in the market. We're not just going to say that it's doing something and it sticks to it, because that's not always the case. Okay. So other things that we have to take a look at. You guys always, I give you guys the national snapshot of what's going on. I also like to bring it in to the Florida and the local market and kind of give you guys a general focus. Um, Different things that we've been really looking at is the rise in insurance prices. Insurance prices, for some strange reason, have been going up. With them going up, let's do that for us. With the insurance prices going up, that does play and playing this whole part of purchasing home, because it is included in the cost. Um, there's other things that we also have to focus on, such as, let me pull this up here. Focusing on share what you're seeing with investors, especially those shifting from pure appreciation plays to cash flow and stability. So these are different plays that happen. This is why people are taking a little bit more focus of the market. Some of the Florida news that I'd like to share with you guys. Going back, Florida's November report showed single family closed sales up to 3.4 and condo sales up 1.6 year over year. So it kind of gives you guys that edge of what's been happening. As I mentioned, things have been increasing from overheated to normalizing. Yeah. So after being one of the hottest markets in the country, several Florida metros are now leading the list of cooling markets, which notable prices declines in places like Cape Coral, Naples, Punta Gorda. And that's how you pronounce that, Punta Gorda. Some people ask, what does that say? A sign of normalization, not collapse. So I know we've been seeing some prices that were adjusted and people are like, oh, is it finally crashing? No, that is not the case. That is not the case. The market is not crashing. That is not what's happening. It's starting to normalize. So keep that in mind when you guys are taking a look at this. The market is just normalizing. Tampa Bay angle. So I always like to pull information, but it's constantly changing. So I know with some of this information, this is a little bit older, um, but I will have the final numbers for you guys. So stay tuned. But some of the numbers is that or information that I will be reporting is like days on market. How does it actually affect home sales? Is it where you're also looking at the micro markets? Is not just saying the Tampa Bay, but it's also looking at certain communities. Certain communities are still experiencing price reductions. You're starting to see a little bit more listings. We also mentioned about the delistings. That is something that's very big. Affordability and insurance pressure. It's going to be a constant there when you say affordability. Now, the insurance is one of those items that is coming to the surface. And the reason it's coming to the surface is because, if you guys recall, in 2024, we had the two hurricanes back to back. In a 2 week period, we had two big hurricanes that came through the Tampa Bay area. So with that being said, it impacted a number of things: the business world, the job world, the economy. It impacted the economy totally. So there are some benefits that are out there for individuals. A lot of these funds are just being released. I know this happened in 2024, but a lot of these funds are just now being released. I was just in a meeting, and I'm sitting in a meeting, they're saying like, "Yeah, we got the funds. We haven't passed them out, but we opened up the application portal." And I think that was done in December, in the middle of December. So people are still getting funds to help them get back on their feet. Like I said, the business sector was impacted. Lots and lots was impacted by this whole hurricane situation that we had in 2024, and this is 2026. So you guys can only imagine the impact of that. But we're still thriving, still building, still lots coming. The Tampa Bay area, the baseball team is back into play. We have the football team; they just finished up their season. You see, I have my team is still going. I am a Buck supporter. Don't get me wrong. I am a Buck supporter, but I am a Buffalo Bills fan. Um, but it's so much going on. The hockey team, well, awesome hockey team. Tampa Bay Lightning. One of those weird stories, you would never think ideally hockey in Florida, hot sunny Florida, but the hockey team is on point, especially in the Tampa Bay area. So I go to a game or two each season myself. So not a season ticket holder, but maybe in the future. But as I mentioned to you guys, these are some of the things that are going on in the market that you guys should be paying attention to and should just be aware of. It's always a good thing to be aware of. So in Florida and Tampa Bay, we're moving more from a seller's market to a balanced market. Smart pricing and smart strategy matter more than ever. So if you're looking to sell and you truly want to sell, these are some of the things that you truly have to take a look at. Okay, I have people that are always saying, "Oh, I'm gonna put my property on the market," but when they place their property on the market, they're not pricing it to actually sell. They're just placing it on the market. So be if you're placing it on the market, be aware of what it's going to take to actually get it sold. You're not going to get pandemic prices these days. That is not the situation. You're not going to get pandemic prices. You're not going to get the pandemic uh, under contract within an hour type scenario. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get the property not seen type of scenario. You're not going to get that. So just keep that in mind, guys. All right, so policy, rule changes, and industry shifts. These are some of the things that you guys should be made aware of because it's coming down the pipeline. All right, it's coming down the pipeline. Changes in policies that, such as lending rules, broader economic trends, quality, shape our. These are the things that shape what's going to happen in the market. So let's hit the big ones. You should actually really pay attention to in 2026. Let's get this here. So a few policies that you definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention to in 2026. Let's see here. We have the Fed. The Feds, you got to keep an eye on them. Interest rates, seeing what's going on with the interest rates. That's been the common story. Paying attention to the interest rates. Everybody wants to know what's going on with the interest rates. So Federal Reserve has been cutting the rates since the late 2024, including a series of cuts in 2025. Then signaling a likely pause. We'll see. This has helped pull mortgage rates down from the mid sevens because we were in the mid sevens into the low sixes. Now, keep that in mind. Keep in mind what I just said and see how this turns out. So, some of the regularity of calmer waters, we ideally should see that. Ideally, that's what some of the economists are anticipating. Economists expect less dramatic policy changes in 2026, meaning fewer surprise shocks and more stability for buyers and sellers. That would be nice if that is the case. Everybody's being optimistic. We'll see. Demographic shifts. So NAR's latest profile of home buyers and sellers shows that typical buyers around 59 and repeat buyers in their 60s. Ooh, that's interesting. With first-time home buyers squeezed by affordability and debt. So that has been like a big question. It's going to be so expensive for, I guess, individuals that are younger than me that haven't already purchased a home. It's going to be a bit more expensive for them to actually purchase a home. One of the big things is down payment. So it's key for people to understand what's available to them. There's a number of programs that are out there. Also, pay attention to what has shifted. And I see this, people respond to this differently each time. When they say affordable housing, make sure you're reading the fine print. And what I mean by reading the fine print is that affordable housing isn't, in the past, I would say people would think if it's affordable housing, then there's a situation where, uh, it's not going to be the best neighborhood, it's not going to be the best property. That has completely changed. So pay attention to the requirements of what affordable housing is, because you'll be surprised. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked because these are some very nice homes. They're 400,000 plus at that medium point. Um, And these are some very nice homes, but they consider them to be affordable housing. So keep in mind, just do your research, because if you haven't purchased a home within the past year, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about. So make sure that you're working with a professional that can actually get you through the current times. And that's exactly what it is. It's the current times, as in what exactly is going on with this. So other items that we should take a look at: Florida specific watch, insurance and building code changes. Oh my goodness. I don't want to. Permits. Oh, that's a pain in the butt. That's all I have to say. Permits are a pain in the rear. It is when these changes occur, it impacts if you're getting a home built, if you're getting a home rehabbed, remodeled, redeveloped. It impacts it, it delays, it adds holding costs, because at one point it was we had a permit out and it was out for like 3 months before we got it approved. So that's a long time. That's 3 months of making payments on a property that has no progress done to it. So keep that in mind. Local zoning reforms, ADUs, great development opportunity, and redevelopment incentives. Yes, there are redevelopment and incentives that are out there that are going to prove to be beneficial, tied to your developer side. And when I say that, is like it's just looking through this situation with the real estate in a different through a different lens, and that's what it really comes down to. So multi-gen and stay put, that's going to be a big thing. More families choosing multi-generational living and renovations over selling, partly due to affordability and golden handcuffs from very low existing rates. If you have if you're paying sub 3 or even 3% on a home now, you're not going to get that with the next property at this point in time. There's no program. I know there's been a lot of talk about the 50-year mortgage and portable mortgages and so forth. But this is what's keeping people in place. Multi-generational, people are finding that they can build additional space on their property, on their land that they have. They're taking advantage of that right now. Because now they have a little bit more control because they own the land and they can now build and get loans against that. So the rule book isn't being rewritten this year, which is good for 2026, which is good. So 2026 is less about surviving shock waves and more about navigating the more predictable landscape with smarter strategy. So that's what's going to happen. You're going to have to think smarter. You're going to have to be resourceful as you are going through the real estate market. So rates and financing, another topic that keeps coming up with rates sitting. Actually, they're going to be now. I read a report since I put this together that the rates just hit a all-time low. I think a 3-year low. So with that being said, that is something really to consider. So things are happening. Get ready so you don't, or stay ready so you don't have to get ready, because a lot of people say, oh, just wait till the springtime. That's not going to be the case moving forward. I really think the trends that we had in the past, they are being manipulated in some kind of way. So it's really about, if you are ready and you need them, go ahead and move, go ahead and do so. If you need to go ahead and sell, then it may be an opportunity for you just to go ahead and sell, because typically at this time of year, a lot of people weren't placing their homes on the market in the past. They're waiting till the springtime, but the interest rates are at a low right now, extra low, 3-year low. So being at a 3-year low, do you still risk it and wait till the springtime, or you start go ahead and put it on the market if you're in a position to sell right now? And that means being in that mindset, making sure the property is packed up, making sure if it is vacant that you're able to get as many showings as you can, because if you're still living in it, it becomes a challenge, a big challenge, especially in today's market. If you have people that are interested, you want to give them easy access. Make sure it's accessible. I call it accessible. Accessible listings where you can actually have showings where people can actually go by. If they're curious, they can go by with their real estate professional and kind of do what they need to do. So, according to this information right here, 30-year fixed conventional around 6.15, 15-year mortgage around 5.4, FHA VA hovering around just under 6. So, with that being said, Obviously, banks, they add a little bit more when you read this. Just be aware of that. Banks add a little bit more because it is um, the funds that they're going to make off of the loan. So keep that in mind. But it's always, these rates are continuously changing. Each bank is different, so it's not necessarily the same. There's different fees involved. If you're getting a buy down, these rates are very possible plus a little bit less. So keep that in mind as I'm providing you with this information. The overlook for the rest of 2026, multiple forecasts for rates in the 6 and 6.5. I can see that. And some people are saying less than 6. Not a return to the 2 and 3. No. So don't think of that, the 2%, 3% error. I truly don't see that happening. If that did happen, some weird stuff has have to happen to the economy. That's all I would have to say. Arms, being creative with creative financing. There's going to be different scenarios for people to have arms, creative financing. Um, there's certain benefits that are going back to the lenders that people need to be aware of that can possibly happen. Um, you have what do we have here? Share how adjustable rate mortgages have grown to about 10% of new loans. So keep, like I was telling you, with the builders are doing, they're doing some type of adjustable rate mortgage, offering low initial payments so they can get you in the deal, but with risk if rates reset higher later. And that's how it was before when we had the financial crisis. A lot of people got held up with that scenario, but they're being a little bit more specific this go around and being a little bit more aware of how they're doing that. Builder incentives and buy downs. We did talk about this before. New construction sellers often offering rate buy downs, closing cost credits, and design incentive. In some cases, new homes are priced lower than resale rivals. Oh man. So if you're thinking about selling your current home that you live in, and you're in a market where you have a lot of builders, you got to really know what's going on with the builders. So, and that's what it comes down to. Um, oh, here we go. So, being practical, health is wealth angle. You guys know, if you guys know me, I am a health is wealth advocate. So, I encourage buyers not to stretch into stress. It's going to be different. Buying a home anyways is an emotional roller coaster. So in today's market, it's going to be even more stressful. So that's why I say it's about educating yourself, taking in the information, understanding what's going on in the current market so you're not so brand new. If you are a first time home buyer, go ahead and go through some of these home buyer classes. It's not that you need it for like a credit, which there may be a credit available, but it's also understanding what's new. A lot of people have not purchased in this new and unique market that we've been in for the past year to 2 years. So keep that in mind. Focus on payment comfort and emergency reserves, not just max approval. Don't do that. Don't stress yourself out by going for the max approval. Just because you are approved for 700,000 doesn't necessarily mean that you have to buy that high. Keep that in mind. Okay. Rates in the sixes may not feel sexy, but compared to the sevens we just lived through, yeah, sixes are better than the sevens. And the double digit rates from the 80s. 2026 is the year where financing becomes tough but doable for buyers who prepare the right way. So make sure you're preparing. Now, I've had someone recently ask me, they messaged me and they were just like, well, what's your thoughts about the 7%, and when we were at 7% and so forth, or even at 6%, that they really have an issue with it. Truth be told, for me, when I got involved into real estate and I was purchasing properties, um, my rates were in the sevens. I started in the sevens. And I mean, when I say this, not like just last year, I mean like some years ago. Some years ago. So just about 20 years ago, when I got started in real estate, that's what I had. I had 7%, I think 7, 8%, I had 8.5%. These are different mortgage rates that I had, but it had to make sense. And that's what happened. If it made sense, then I went ahead and move forward with it. But I did have rates that were that high, then you're dealing with your investment sides, and then rates went up a little bit more. So that's always something that you have to be mindful. It has to work out for you. It has to make sense for you. Okay. So opportunities, we have what? Opportunities and risk plays in 2026. Opportunities are going to be there. They're actually already here. And I speak to a lot of them, say like my investors. I speak with them a lot in regards to some of the opportunities that are already out there. And it's just about if it makes sense and making it make sense and understand what your exit strategy is. Do not get in the deal without knowing what your exit strategy is going to be. Okay, keep that in mind. So our move up and stuck, those are those individuals. Prices are still near record levels. But buyers are more selective. Roughly 18% of listings nationally had price cuts in November, and Florida is even higher in some areas. Yes, we've been experiencing some price cuts, even with the new construction price. You'll see it if you're tracking properties. You'll see price reductions that are out there. If you price ahead of the market and prepare the home well, you can still sell strong without sitting for months. That's the game plan. Go in with the mindset of getting the property sold. Okay. Um, Great time to trade, lifestyle. If you want to downsize, move closer to family, relocate. If you're not locked into a 2 to 3% golden handcuffs, yeah, we call them the golden handcuffs. It's an opportunity for you to change the lifestyle a little bit, relocate, do something different. So for our buyers, slightly better affordability, wages now outpacing home price growth, monthly payments expected to decline modestly for the first time since 2020. That would be nice. These are some things to be mindful of. Like I said, right now, I just read the article, I think earlier today, where the rate is currently at a 3-year low. So keep that in mind, guys. We opportunity, get ready so you don't have to. Excuse me, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I keep mixing that up. But more inventory, less competition than peak pandemic. Makes sense. But still not a flood. Yeah, you're not gonna get the flood of things. So you need to be prepared and decisive. Know what you want. Know what you want. Opportunity in cooling Florida metros and neighborhoods that got overheated in 2021 and 2022. um, this is key. There is a definitely, um, if you guys have some additional insight, I definitely want to hear what you have to say about the 2021, because we experienced a lot. I want to say that we experienced a lot of uniqueness. Let's see this. I had some people send a message to me, so I just want to say, hey, yeah. So 2020, we're on that 2021. So in 2022, oh my goodness, prices were ridiculous. Prices were truly ridiculous, but it happened. So small investors and developers, opportunities are going to present themselves. In 2026, 2026 is about cash flow. Keep that in mind. Cash flow. It has to make sense. Cash flow, value add, not a lot of flips. And I said this last year, towards the beginning of the last year. It's not really, depending on your market, it's not really the mindset of flipping properties right now. You're getting people that are getting stuck with some of these rehabs, and they're actually having to hold on to it and rent them out. But they did not go in with that mindset. So now their numbers are a little bit off, but they don't have a choice. They have to hold on to it for a little bit longer until the market is doing what it's currently doing. Um, so national builders see steady demand for new homes because existing inventory is still tight. So they still think the inventory is tight right now. Infill projects and small communities can ride that same wave. That's what I've been looking at personally, is the infill projects, looking at that new development. developing properties, building them from the ground up. Opportunities are there. Trust me, they are there. Watch for insurance and HOA dynamics in Florida. Those can make or break your number, especially if you're going into a community where you have HOAs. So if you're purchasing a home in a HOA community, you got to be mindful of those. You're seeing it a lot, especially in like condos. You're seeing it a lot there, where those rates, those HOA fees are going up. They're just going up and up. I was just looking at a condo the other day. HOA fee is almost $1,300 per month, just the HOA fee. So it doesn't make sense when people are just looking at the price on some of these properties, where it's like, hey, it's going to be a challenge, because right now you're looking at um, just the price, but you got to look at the fees that are involved with that community. When there's so many fees involved with the community, you run into, like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to be in that property when, especially with some of the HOAs, they just keep going up and up and up. You know, a couple of $100 here, a couple of $100 there, and that's each month. It makes a difference, guys. So the risk in 2026 isn't that the market crashes, it's that you sit on the sidelines without a plan while other people quietly buy the assets that future wealth will be built on. So if you want to sit on the fence and do nothing and just say, hey, you're just going to wait, there's people out there that are buying properties. Yeah. So take your time. I don't mind you taking your time. So with that being said, guys, we got some Q&A. I know we had some questions that did come through. I want to make sure that we do address those. So I definitely appreciate everybody chiming in. That's man, you guys are awesome. I love it when you guys chime in like that. So some of the things that we want to go ahead and take a quick look at. Let's go see what some of the questions that were already brought up. Give me a second here. So one of the questions that came in, should I wait for lower rates? Um, no, no. If you're in a position where you actually need to buy a home, go ahead and look to move forward. Now, when I say, I don't mean just buy anything, but go ahead and do your shopping, begin the process. Start looking out there. The rates, they're going to do what they're going to do. But what happens is the inventory that you want, it's limited inventory. If you are looking for brand new construction, I know in the Tampa Bay area, there are different builders that are still building. There are people that are doing resales that have homes that are newer. It may be 5 years or less. They may have lived in it for 5 years or less. So a lot of them still on the warranty, so keeping that in mind. Um, so yes, don't just wait for the rates to be lower, because we don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, the rates right now are good. They're reporting good news. Another question that came in, is Florida still a good place to invest? Yeah. Oh man. I have people that are investing. Um, the investments may be a little bit different. I always tell people, if you're looking to buy and hold, that's mainly what it is right now. Multi-unit, you can't go wrong with multi-unit right now. If you can do multi-unit, invest in multi-unit, that's great. Properties that are income producing properties, look at the cash flow. You want a cash flow, and make sure it makes sense. Okay. Yes, rates pay into it when you're trying to cash flow. The taxes and insurance, all of that pay has a part in your investment. So understand those numbers before you actually pull the trigger fully. Yeah, it's definitely going to be important. When people are buying homes, there's some great deals in some of these flood zone areas, but the insurance is going to be ridiculous. And I can guarantee you that if it flooded during the hurricane time and now they're selling these properties off cheap, keep that in mind if you're maintaining a property. But it is an opportunity within those, because some of the things that I've seen is redevelopment, where they're going in, doing infill projects, tearing that property down completely, and then building up the code, where the properties are built up. Versus still being at that flood zone. So now the insurance is technically a little bit cheaper. Plus, they're going to require it. with a lot of these properties. A lot of them, they're requiring them to be elevated. Um, and it's unique. That's a unique process of elevating a home that wasn't elevated before. But the new homes, they're going to be elevated already. And some of the requirements for them is going to be different. But I've seen a number where they look really good though. Working with another developer, that's a builder, and that's all they do. They go in and do infill projects, buy a property, like buy two or three of them that are right next to each other, or two or three lots together, and they build like 5 homes. Um, yeah, and multi-story homes. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Another question that came in. Let me see here. How do I compete as first-time home buyer? You said the right thing. You're going to have to compete. But there are opportunities out there. The down payment is going to be important to any first-time home buyer. If you're looking at new construction, you're going to find that you're going to want to know what incentives are available. If you are a first-time home buyer, today's market is going to be a bit different. The days of buying a property with no money down, um, I haven't seen that nowadays. Especially with the interest rates where they are. Um, I worked with a lot of people where I used to push that. Oh, no money down, you can get a home, and I used to have a lot of people um, chime in. They would, and then like after that went by, years went by, they started asking me. I was like, that boat has sailed. So, so our first time home buyers, make sure that you're looking into the incentives. If you're looking at new construction, these builders have different incentives. Trust me, they do. Also, look in the county that you're in. The counties are offering different incentives as well, especially with down payment. Um, I have, if you're in the Tampa Bay area and you're looking at a specific property, I can give you access to a program that I have. You input the address and it tells you about the different down payment assistant programs that are available for that specific property. So keeping that in mind, because a lot of times it depends on where the property is located with some of the down payment programs. So keep that in mind moving forward. Feel free to DM me, send me a message. That shouldn't be a problem. I'll make sure that you get that. And that's free. That's not even me. There's no obligation or anything like that. Just send me the address. And I think how I can do it is if you send me like your name and email, I can send you a link so that you don't even have to bother me anymore. And that link, you just input the information, bump. And for the next 6 months down the road, you want to keep using that, you can. So feel free to reach out to me, DM me if you have questions regarding down payment assistance. I work with a few other folks, organizations that provide different types of down payment. And with the down payment, they do like a stacking process where they'll get like 3 to 4 different programs, stack it all together, and help benefit you, help get a property and so forth. So keep that in mind. Um, but other than that, guys, that's what's going on. 2026 is going to be exciting. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited about 2026. If you guys are watching football games, make sure you check out the Bills. They are playing in the playoffs. So wish them luck. This is my playoff hat, so that's why I got it on right now. My niece and nephew got me this hat, so I appreciate them. So, but with that being said, guys, have fun in 2026. If you guys have questions, I have more information that's coming out. If you're looking to invest in real estate, build generational wealth, feel free to contact me. I have a number of free programs that are going to be coming up, especially in the month of December or excuse me, in the month of February, next month, as well as the month of March. So in person opportunity in the month of February is free. You just come, show up. I actually even have some food for you as well. Um, so feel free to reach out to me, DM me. But this is Chris Brown, State of the Real Estate Market. We are having a great time. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like I said, we not only talk about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we talk about hot topics regarding entrepreneurship as well as building generational wealth. Big thank you to everyone. This is my contact information. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on the social media at Chris Brown RE Pro. You'll find that information there. Phone number directly. Feel free to contact me 813-419-3927. Text me. Send me a DM. You can do it all. I'll respond. I'll get back to you. Just keep it in mind. But other than that, guys, we are feeling blessed with the rest. And be sure to have a great 2026. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And for those who are not aware, our next real estate market update will be the 20th, February 20th. So keep that in mind. Now, February 13th is going to be the wealth building event. It is a free event. Be sure to follow me on social media. I'll make sure that you have that information. I'll be posting it so that you guys can get registered. So it is a limited, it is a very limited space. So I mean, when I say limited, probably no more than 20, maybe a couple of more, but no more than 20 people. So keep that in mind. It is a free event. It'll be in downtown St. Petersburg, Friday, February 13th. More details to come. Follow me on social media. I believe it's already started being posted. They just started to save the date. I think yesterday. So save the date. It's already been put out there. So look at the Facebook page. Look at the YouTube. Look at LinkedIn as well. You'll find it in probably even on the Twitch account as well for those who follow us on the Twitch. So keep that in mind. I appreciate you guys. Next event of State of the Real Estate Market will be February 20th, but big in-person event we will have February, Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. All right, guys. So I appreciate you timing in. I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good one. Take care.